Good morning, Internet. How are you? I wanted to talk briefly about a few things that ran across my mind. Um, when I started doing this was definitely more of a journal for me to reflect how I feel about dealing with narcissistic abuse. I will readily admit that it's not the nicest way to do things, but I don't believe in forgiveness to people who are intentionally evil to you. I don't believe in turning the other cheek when people are intentionally evil to you. You see, this is the thing that I see on the internet, which bothers me, is that there are some people who are groomed to be forgiving, to turn the other cheek, to preach forgiveness and education and rehabilitation, which is a folly. It's a folly, and I'm not going to try and change their mindsets because, honestly, when you think like that when you're dealing with a narcissistic person, you're dead in the water. You're going to get abused, you're going to be mistreated, and you're going to wonder why. When you cannot be kind to these people, you can't. You just can't give them a whiff of your weakness because they are trained to prey on people. They're predators. I wanted to talk about how these people, and I say that loosely, are so unhappy. They're just so unhappy and they're cowardly. You may not think so. You may think that they are these malevolent predators who lurk in the dark. But as time has gone on for me starting this channel and me growing and healing and evolving to my better self, I just really realized how unhappy these people are. I used to be friends with a person, and I'm not going to name any names or give too much detail, but this person ended up staying with another person who was married and refused to leave their spouse. And I think they still live together today. And for years, now this was not some fly-by-night friend, like we're talking about like nearly a decade of friendship. But for years, before I even knew what narcissistic personality disorder was, before I even knew what bipolar personality was, before I even knew about cluster B, I always talked to them and I was like, this is wrong. This is wrong. And this person isn't going to leave their spouse for you. They're not going to leave their child for you. You will never be first. And you're going to live with them. You're going to give them the entire gambit. You're going to give them all of you, but they won't give them all of themselves to you. And this person just looked at me and was heartbroken and crying and saying, well, you know what? If I have to choose between them or you, I'm going to choose them. And I said, okay, then we just can't be friends anymore. And then it was like shock. There was repercussions to this. And even then, before I knew what was going on, I said, you just want drama for the sake of it. You just don't want to go ahead and find somebody who's single. You don't want to just go through the gambit of being healed. You want to take someone else's spouse from them, someone else's parent from their child because you're selfish. And I don't want to deal with you because you're selfish, because honestly, to me, this just sounds like drama. And you'll never win. And then they said this, well, they make me happy. You will understand, sooner or later, a narcissistic person will always say that the person that they are feeding off of, like the vampires they are, makes them happy. Now, you should pause when you hear anyone who says another person makes them happy. You already know that's a toxic relationship. A healthy relationship is that person increases my happiness. That person adds to my happiness, but no other person should ever make you happy. I had to learn that the hard way. But narcissistic people are never happy. They're never happy, and they try their best to fake it, but they're not happy because they're miserable inside. Even if they have a lot of money, even if they have a lot of fame and notoriety, they're never happy because they're not happy with themselves. They won't let you know it, but they know it deep down that something is wrong with them. And they distract themselves with drama. They distract themselves with mind games. They distract themselves with manipulation and lies because they're not happy. They can't find peace. They can't be genuinely kind to another person. They don't know how. And even if they try, they feel like they're at a disadvantage. They feel like they're weak if they try to be kind. The world that we live in is built for them because it's people who say they forgive and they turn the other cheek won't slap the taste out of their mouth. I read the comments. I don't respond a majority of the time. And I do so because really this journal is for me. I know that sounds very selfish, but this is, I guess, a journaling of my growth. This is me finding humor and seeing how stupid these people are. This gives me great joy to hopefully help people to see that you don't have to be kind to a person to get your point across. No, you don't have to be primeval. You don't have to be cruel, but you don't have to forgive these people. You don't have to. What you can do is actually be selfish and care about yourself for once. Care about your happiness, because here is the beautiful thing about narcissistic people is since they'll never be happy, they'll always be miserable. They'll always be humiliated because they can't keep anyone. And the people that they can keep around aren't really worth a damn. Now, the people that they do keep around might be a reflection of how they feel at the moment, how they think they should look at the moment. They might be beautiful, they might be rich, they might be whatever. But narcissistic people will never be happy. They will always, always, always shoot for this perfection that will never exist because they're mentally ill. And it took me a while to really kind of settle into that and really accept that I was in love with people who were mentally ill. You may think of me being evil. I've been called things so far. I don't mind. You can call me more things, but I can tell you what I am, is I'm happy. Because I care about myself a lot more than I care about the opinions of other people. And I care about myself a lot more than the validation of narcissistic people. I love myself. And I hope that when you get to that point when you love yourself, that you'll understand that this is what narcissistic people want more than anything else, and they'll never be able to love themselves. And you can just sit back. You can get your vengeance if you want to. That's why I kind of put this up, because I did get my vengeance multiple times. But now my vengeance is just to sit and watch, because narcissistic people, they hang their misery as nooses around their neck, and sooner or later they'll swing in the breeze. And I'll just watch. I won't smile, and I won't laugh, and I won't cry either. Because honestly, when you're evil, it catches up with you.